Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and it's time for Question of the Week. I don't know about you guys out there, but I suspect it's very similar, but my Twitter and Facebook page has been full of reviews, opinions, thoughts about a certain movie that's just been released, comic book related. Of course, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I have yet to see it and probably won't see it for some time. If you've been here for a while, you may realise that I hate going to the cinema. And I much prefer sitting at home in the comfort of my own sofa with people, sometimes not even people, and just enjoy a movie at home. It's a lot cheaper. I don't have people talking all the way through it, playing with phones, rustling sweet bags. I hate the experience of cinema going these days. And it got me thinking about what your movie habits are. Do you go rushing out on the first day to watch the latest comic book blockbuster, or do you maybe wait a couple of weeks to let all the excitement and the hype die down, maybe find out from other people what they thought of the movie before shelling out your hard-earned cash? Or are you like me, where you kind of wait until like the Blu-ray or the DVD comes out so you can watch it at home on your own TV screen in the comfort of your own surroundings? So let me know in the comment section down below what your movie habits are, and what was the last comic book related movie that you watched. So last week I had a stream of questions and a couple really to catch up on because I'd missed them out from the previous week, but I've got a lot of questions to get through and some great ones at the same time. Again, if by the end of this video you don't hear me answer your question, I apologise. If you gave me a question last week and I don't answer it, it's disappeared, I accidentally missed it, I apologise. Give me a prod, shout at me, berate me for not answering your question, and I will ensure that it goes on to next week's. So without further ado, we kick off with Wednesday's Serial, and he asked, who would win in a fight between you or Sleepy Reader? Matt, why are you always trying to cause fights? Look, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Me and Sleepy Reader, we sit down with a beer and just chat about comics all day. There'd be no punching, there'd be no fighting, so behave. Larissa, sorry I missed your question last week, but I made sure I put it down. As soon as you wrote it down again, I remembered it, but I forgot to write it down and it disappeared from the feed. But I'm answering it this week for you. And she asked, if you could explore Fabletown, which character would you choose in order to be able to enter? Now, great question. Love Fables, she knows I do, and I know that she is trying to collect all the single issues. Good luck with that. Now, one thing you do have to remember if you want to visit Fabletown is that you have to look human. You have to have the human form. Otherwise you are shuffled off upstate to the farm where you stay, because obviously the Mondays, as normal folk, can walk through Fabletown, and we don't want everyone knowing our big secret. So I had to think about this for a little bit and go on a few websites, see what kind of humanoid, fable, fairy tale, mythic kind of characters I could possibly be. And I didn't check this, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't been used, because I wanted to pick someone who hadn't already been used. So I actually went for the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and I thought I'd be a bit bad while I was there and entice the little kiddies away, I don't know, for ransom and get some money from Fabletown and steal all their children, because that's just the kind of guy I am. Ryan C asked, what currently running series do you think reads better in trade than they do as monthly singles? Now, I'm quite an impatient type of guy, and I can't bear having to wait for trades, which is why probably I haven't been buying many lately and keep adding onto my monthly pull list. But there are still some titles that I do still collect in trade. Mostly because I was stupid not to pick them up from when they started in singles, thinking I wouldn't like them, then hearing everyone rave about them and thinking, I'm not going to find the singles for these now, I'm just going to have to go in with the trades. So stuff like, you know, Sweet Tooth, Lock and Key, Chew, I picked them up all in trade. While I don't necessarily think they read better in trade, they're like my kind of three main ones at the moment, and also the one that I'm going to choose. And I do think, because the title is The Walking Dead and I've always collected it in trade, whoever thought that when The Walking Dead issue 1 came out that it would become this huge phenomenon that has kind of spawned a TV program that is so popular now. So I kind of jumped on that within the trades. And as I'm reading the trades, they're very difficult because they don't actually split them into issues. Like, you don't get the covers in them. It just feels like one continual story. And I have heard complaints about this before, is like from issue to certain issues, not a lot really goes on. You know, it progresses very, very slowly. So I think in that respect, reading The Walking Dead in trade is probably a good bet. Jess S, thank you very much for yet another question. Loyal viewer, thank you so much. And she asked me, Morning Glories, what the heck do you think this is ultimately going to end up being about? I have no idea. I don't even think Nick Spencer does, really. He probably does, but it's probably so far in the future where things are going to get resolved. Questions are going to be properly answered. I'd love it to just be all about aliens, but that's just the twisted person that I am, because it would make no sense for any of it to be about aliens, really. But who knows? I haven't a clue, Jess. I wish I knew what was going on now, to be honest. Dakin Howlett, Chris, thank you for your question, though my answer might not be what you were looking for. He asked, comics as a pastime are very sedentary. What is your favourite active pastime? I have to say, I'm very, very lazy. I work very hard and I don't want to come home and start being excessively active at home, so I'm more the kind to just have a rest on the sofa, stick the TV and you know, marathon watch Game of Thrones or The Strain or something like that, than go out and start, I don't know, cycling, running, playing football around a field. I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. Sorry, Chris. Joshua Hayes, another great question from him, and of course, being good old Bat Josh, it's bat related. I don't mind. But he asked, if Bruce Timm knocked on your door and said, we've been contracted to write 6 new original episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and you get to pick 6 feature villains, who would they be? Joshua, of course I've watched Batman the Animated Series. I've got to say I haven't watched them all, but I've certainly watched at least all of the first season. Now, I thought about this, and given that this theoretical scenario that had come to me, and there was only 6 episodes, I wanted to make this kind of like an overarching storyline that culminated in something really huge. So I wanted to give Gotham its own kind of crime syndicate that the DC universe already has, but keep them within kind of the Gotham villains. So for each episode up to number 5, you would get a single villain, and then at the very end, you would get them all together with the group or the person that had been pulling all the strings. A bit like Batman Eternal that's been going on at the moment. But I decided on Clayface, Two-Face, Catwoman, of course the Joker, Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it. And then finally in the last episode, the 6th episode, the kind of group that has been pulling all the strings, that have been bringing this kind of Gotham crime syndicate together, was the Court of Owls. How'd you like that, Josh? I hope that answered your question. Finally, it's Parker Rizzo, and he asked about cover artists and this kind of not necessarily new phenomenon, but certainly a surgence in it of people going out and collecting variant covers, the kind of Scotty Young covers, the Campbell covers, basically variant covers, I would say. And he was a bit bemused by the whole this whole new thing, kind of attributed to like people who go out and buy kind of first appearances of characters, and that he could understand people going out and looking for those. But he wanted my opinion on this new kind of phenomenon of people going out just to buy alternate covers. Now, he might not like my answer, and you know, people can collect how and what they want. You know, that's not up to me. It's your money, you spend it as you see fit. But to be honest, I've never understood kind of people going out just to buy variant covers or just to buy first appearances. I see a lot of videos on YouTube, and you know, they're entitled, you know, key issues, and they go on about, you know, new characters that have come in, and I half the time I'm like, who are these characters? They probably got used for like maybe 3 or 4 months and then disappeared off the face of the earth. Just because they suddenly appear in a comic shouldn't really make it that special or collectible. I do feel that it has kind of harmed the comic book market in some respects, because it pushes up the price of what are generally, you know, not that expensive comics, and just because, like I said, the first appearance of a character, it's suddenly the price is skyrocketed. It's the same when the movies come out, the Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. You know, you look back at old issues of those and suddenly you see the prices going up and up and up just because there's a movie out, and I kind of take a little bit of an issue with that. But like I said, people can collect how and what they want. That's up to them. It's not my money they're spending. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. Never been, you know, a fan of variant covers. Yes, I've got variant covers within my collection, but I would certainly not pay kind of like top dollar for them. I've probably been lucky enough to find a great deal of my variant covers, which are not necessarily from the big two, they're from like more of the independent ones. I found them in 50p boxes, to be honest. So yeah, that's really my thoughts on the kind of variant cover issue. And they were all the questions this week. Thank you ever so much giving me all those questions. Again, if I missed anyone out, please tell me. Put the question back in the box below. If you have any questions for me for next week, please put them in the comment section below. Remember to answer the question that I posed you right at the very top. and I'll put links to all those people who have got videos on YouTube in the description bar below. So anybody's question I just answered and they've got videos on YouTube, there's a link in the description bar. You expand it, because there'll probably be quite a few this week, and make sure you go and check out their videos. If you like what you see, subscribe to them, let them know that they're doing a great job. Thumb up their videos, comment on their videos, and like I say, subscribe to them. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers of late. I seem to have had a flurry of new subscribers of late, and I'm much appreciative. Until Wednesday, when you'll get to see what comics I got on my pull list this week. Ta-ra!